Be very nice in lane in terms of the setup stun. I mean, now looking at the Bane and the Wyvern, do you think this could actually be a core Centaur? Or do you think we are almost certainly going to see a Phobos picking up this one?
I'm sure Illidan can play it, but
It's not a very Illidan-y hero, is it?
I mean, it can be. The thing is, Illidan has a very wide hero pool, so if they decide that it's better for the draft to last pick something that goes off lane, maybe a bit more effective right now than the Centaur, then I think it would be okay to just go ahead and throw it on Illidan. But for right now, I think it's actually fine in the offlane. Phobos plays a great Centaur anyway, so you have two good players on it already. You're going to see the Razor ban here, so they are thinking that it's going to be more of a offlane capacity coming out from the Centaur Warrunner. And last ban out here from Virtus Pro is going to be the Chen. Very good ban. As of right now, the Chen would have totally wreaked havoc during the laning phase. The Winter Wyvern and the Bane don't really have great tools at dealing with them. They're more of the, I want to zone you out, I want to harass actual heroes, not have to deal with those creeps. And now Na'Vi looking at the last pick. They're not going to get their Funnick Brood. Are they going to go back for the Sand King again? All right, Funnick has played phenomenal Sand Kings in every single game that we've seen him in so far here at the ASUS ROG DreamLeague. I really enjoy that pick. Another Blink Initiation hero. This does mean that the Shaker's Blink is most likely going to be a little bit delayed. Funnick will most likely be taking the farm from the jungle, and then Seneko is going to have to wait in due time to get his own. But again, both these teams, pretty good fighting potential. I would say Na'Vi probably favored, though, just because of their sheer AoE.
So with the Phoenix picked, it's going to be the Illidan Centaur. Yeah. They're going to decide that's going to be the best thing for the draft for the lineup. And what do you reckon about this one then, Andy?
I'm wondering right now, looking at it, how VP are actually going to land this. Because most likely what's going to happen is G's going to go mid against Puck. And they're going to have like a support babysitting. It just happens now. Like whenever you go mid, it's not actually a 1v1 anymore. It's usually like a 1v2 or a 2v2 because the supports have to sit nearby to ensure that you don't just get roamed down and get killed in the early phase. And then you see some 1v1s or other 2v2s break down. So I still feel like Na'Vi, with these particular heroes, they're probably going to go defensive. And I think that Virtus Pro are probably going to do the same. It's very difficult to try to open up on a lane with a Shadow Demon and a Shaker, two extremely defensive supports by nature. I think VP are going to want to get their Blink Dagger timing on Illidan, and then they're going to want to try to utilize that with Phoenix Egg in some team fights and try to take it from there.
Okay, well, let's see as we get ourselves into this game what exactly comes out in terms of lanes. And well, game 5 here between Na'Vi and VP. What a game it's going to be. The crowd's excited. I can hear them already. And well, do we have any VP fans in the house? Oh, yeah, that's nice. Any Na'Vi fans? Oh, that's a big roll. Oh, that guy looks... Oh, it's Toby. Good to see he turned up. Right, let's get ourselves into the game. Na'Vi versus VP begins. Up being handed a cannon monster. This is fantastic, because I'm going to need it for this game. We're going to see a lot of action. And, well, Trashko, you don't want the second one. I'll take it. Here we go. Na'Vi versus VP. Into the lanes we go. It is, by the looks of it, going to be 2 sets of defensive tri-lanes. And, well, let's see if we see any kind of early aggression kicking off as both teams heading towards these runes here at the moment. What's the plan here? VP looking for the top one. Na'Vi going to look for the bottom. Doesn't look like we're going to see anything kick off straight away. But as you're saying, now we know the 2 drafts. What is the game plan for both sides?
Na'Vi is going to be looking for non-stop aggression. Once they get their blinks up, it's going to be integral for their lineup. Funnick, he has the same kind of position that he did last game where he can go into the lane, soak some EXP. The zoning heroes right now of Bane and Winter Wyvern, like, they can do a little bit, but they're probably not going to be able to kill him ever, even with the use of the Sentry Ward. And despite your best effort, everybody knows you just opened a monster. Oh, and it's fine. You don't have to be shy about it. There you go. But I do think that he'll be able to get his Blink Dagger timing. It's not going to be an issue for him. I'm just wondering what can Phobos actually accomplish here in this offlane, because if you do get disrupted or you get fissured during your dive, you can potentially give away a kill here. I think it's more dangerous for Phobos potentially than it could be for Funnick in this game.
Let's see how this one pans out. And in terms of our position, what's the fact you've got this Gyrocopter, in terms of running the Centaur in the position where you're not going to want to take this one late if you're VP, surely. I guess that they've always got the Shadow Fiend, and we've seen the SF actually come out on top in the latter portions against the position 1 Gyro, but I guess that both sides have got the merits towards the late game.
I think Na'Vi have a very spread damage style of composition. Like you have Puck, Shaker, Sand King, Gyro. No one really has high single target damage, which I feel makes a position 1 Centaur a little bit better.
Oh, Fish is going to get thrown down. Won't catch Jin. It's not going to trap him either. Lil's maybe going to look for a bit of a counter initiation. Coming in here with the Arctic Burn, chasing down Dendi. And it's not going to be enough to bring him down. Dendy will be able to keep himself safe, but we are going to see kind of this classic of the supports from either side hanging around the mid lane, trying to secure the lane for G and Denny respectively.
Yeah, but as we were speaking about the different compositions and at what point in the game they're going to be strong, Na'Vi are going to feel amazing when they get their Blink Daggers before BKBs come out on the side of VP. Phoenix, I think, is actually a really solid pick against what Na'Vi have, because the only BKB rushing hero on the team is going to be Gyrocopter, and that means you're going to deal a ton of damage, and killing the egg is going to be tough. And
Saneko straight in. Can they stop the dive, though? He's got it available, and wow, going straight in with the disruption there before the dive was cast does allow Phobos to still get himself out of that one. So another unfortunate little bit of a movement there from Na'Vi.
Oh, they're applying some pressure to him, at least. You don't want him to get levels. That's the worst thing. And lucky right now for Na'Vi, they're doing a nice job of controlling the safe lane. There's 3 range creeps on the side of BP, so that lane will continue to push out.
Bottom lane, going in on Phobos. He doesn't have the diver. They've got Soul Catcher as well, so Snake are going to move in. They're going to need a few punches to bring him low. They're getting him low. The right clicks as well from the illusion, helping out for Shadow Demon. He pops us out. There's not going to be enough. Saneko goes in. Will find first blood there onto the Phoenix.
Did he actually just stop to click salve on himself?
Oh, Lil, he wants a bit of return action, looking for Saneko, and he should be able to find this one. Saneko trying to juke it out. Won't be enough, and VP do find the return kill there.
That was a really awkward pause. I actually don't think the Phoenix should have ended up dying there. Even though Shaker is a very fast hero, he actually like paused and then salved and then walked forward. It was a very short stutter, but it was definitely there. Meantime, Haystern picked up here by FNG, looking for something.
Going towards the mid lane. He has got the Wyvern coming as well. Danny's incredibly low. They're going to set this one up with a Nightmare. G moving forward. He's got level 2 raising, but the Fisher coming back, holding G back. Danny's still alive. He face shifts all out, and now trying to turn this one around. Saneko getting G low, but Lil is, of course, there with the embrace. Keeps G up. G will find the final raise onto Dendy on the sidelines, and it is VP coming out on top of that mid lane engagement.
That was so unlucky for Dendy. He actually orbed to the only possible place where that fissure would have actually made him unable to path anywhere else. He couldn't move. So even though going to the orb itself was pretty much the only way he was going to live, still ended up killing him. A little bit unfortunate there that the fissure from Saneko ends up getting him killed, but very nice for VP to get themselves up on the board again. This is, to me, maybe the closest draft of any of the games so far in the series, which I feel is appropriate considering it's the 5th game.
Top lane, Illidan here with a Who Stomp double edge. Funnick, he's going to have to run. He's only level 1 and got the Sandstone, but the Sentry's going to be dropped, and Illidan finding the kill there. More money into the pocket of this Centaur.
And that Blink Dagger is going to be coming out pretty early if Illidan keeps up this level of farm. The nice thing, too, about VP's lineup currently is, as we talked about again, it's a lot of spread damage. So once G and Illidan start to tank up a bit, those heroes are actually very good at just bursting down somebody straight away. So the Shadow Fiend can go back for things like Daedalus in the ultra late game. You're also going to have Winter's Curse to deal some pretty good physical damage depending on who you throw it on. I think that if anything, Na'Vi are going to have great mid game. Fissure. He's got dive.
He's got the dive. He's good. He's good. He's golden.
Yeah, but Na'Vi's mid game is fantastic. I think VP actually might be a tiny bit favored for late game, though.
Okay.
It's really hard to say because a lot of it just boils down to who gets the better engagements, right? Like who takes the better fights, who gets the big echo. In this case, if Saneko can do it, he's done it in the past, even in this series.
We're seeing this again from Funnick. He's looking to rotate towards the mid lane here as this Sand King. But, I mean, at level 2 with just 1 point in Burrow Strike, it's a very hard gank to make happen. It is nighttime, so he's going to be able to get close and personal. But, well, at the same time, the side of VP, they've got plans of their own in terms of rotations. Lil here in the jungle, Saneko is going to chase this one down. It was spotted out by this ward, and he's got the Arctic Burn. He should be able to fly through and fly away from here. But still, Lil playing a bit, kind of in a bit of a dangerous position here on the side of Radiant.
He wasn't spotted, though, which is a good thing, which means they're not going to know that camp's warded until they try to stack it again. And there's, like, Saneko's clueless right now. Oh, he's going to walk into him. Okay, now he knows at least he's there. But he probably doesn't know that the camp is warded, which is still nice. Good block.
He's figured that the Arctic Man, of course, isn't available, so Lil's going to be stuck for a bit. But as you said, it is just Saneko here trading punches, and Lil will be simply able to walk away from that one. Denny was moving in as well, seeing if they could find a fight. Top lane, there's going to be the Burrow Strike on Illidan, but Funnick's going to be careful. The Nightmare coming out, and they might try and turn this. It's only level 2 Funnick, and he's going to get blown up straight away by the Who Stomp double edge combination. Denji coming in with a rotation, so he wants to try and find a return kill, but being held back there, he won't be able to follow through the orb. And, well, even though Denny comes up in, not able to find any kind of return action favoring the side of Na'Vi, and VP, yet again, finding themselves another kill, 4-4 at the moment in the laning stage. And in terms of CS as well, slightly favoring VP also.
Not even just slightly, a lot. And Dendy just transitioned to the top to try to get a kill. G's left to his own devices in middle lane, leading the CS, 33 and 15. Dendy's only got 19 creep kills right now, which is a pretty standard thing to happen in a Shadow Fiend versus Puck matchup. if for whatever reason you end up getting picked in that 1v1, the Shadow Fiend just auto-wins the lane, unless you have outside help. And right now, Funnick can't really help him, because as you already mentioned, he was very low level, just at level 3 a couple of seconds ago. And the Shaker doesn't really do enough damage on his own. So VP have been very proactive about punishing this mid matchup and giving G the position that he wants to play from, which is being very far ahead, because he's great at bullying when he knows he has the advantage.
Indeed. Well, G's going to be happy, continues to farm their top lane. Funnick's got to be careful, a little moving in. He's now level 6 as well. So, of course, they do have this Stampede initiation if needed. And at the same time, it's going to make these rotations harder for the side Na'Vi, but Na'Vi will find Phobos there, following up with the Rocket Barrage damage there on the bottom lane.
That's a big kill. You really want to get Havos as farmed as humanly possible in this game. Because of the fact that 2 lanes are losing, not super hard, but they're definitely not winning for the side of Na'Vi. Like your top lane, your middle lane, they are struggling at this point. You need to have something good going for you. And outside of the fact that Funnick managed to get level 2 Sandstorm, which will allow him to start farming the woods, that's a big thing for Na'Vi. Funnick's Blink Dagger in the previous match solidified them the mid-game win, in my opinion. Just like single-handedly with like massive burrows, good epicenters, all that kind of carried them very easily into the late game and eventually just toppled over Virtus Pro. I think his Blink Dagger timing is going to be just as important, if not even more important, because they actually need it this game. Whereas last game, I felt like their draft was just superior.
Well, last hit-wise, and you were saying it earlier, Shadow Fiend looking pretty scary. It's going to only continue that way. Top of the net worth board at the moment, and G clearing out these jungle camps as well. Looking very, very good for the Shadow Fiend. That's going to give the space as well for Wyvern in the mid lane to work his way towards that level 6.
Now, right now, it's pretty quiet. I think both teams are just content to sit back and do their own thing. G, I'm not sure if he's going to opt to go for the mech build this game. I think mech is actually very good against a team that's almost solely comprised of spread damage. Like we've brought that point up a few times so far, but I think it is important to keep people remembering that this Na'Vi lineup is built around fighting 5 versus 5, not about killing like very farm single target heroes.
Top lane, they really want to go for it. They're going to send Dendy up as well. They'll set this one up here with the disruption. Call down Fisher, everything coming down on Illidan. The Stampede is not going to save him. And Na'Vi there with the rotation, taking down the Sentinel.
That's 4 heroes though, man. You just have 4 heroes in the top lane to kill 1, and now you're going to have a couple of heroes getting some solo experience. That leaves Phobos safe in the off lane, that leaves Lil safe mid. You're still making a trade, even if you kill that hero. So keeping him away from the Blink Dagger, I think that's still a good call. And in fact, it's very common for Illidan to do this on a lot of heroes, by the way. He buys a casual Ring of Health. Now, I'm not sure if he's going back for the Vanguard, but I really hope he's not. I think that Blink Dagger is way too important to kind of skip over this game.
Bottom lane, VP moving in onto the tier 1 at the same time. Na'Vi applying a pressure to the top. They wanted to find something else on top of the kill that they got onto Illidan. And it looks like they might just do that here, bringing down this tier 1 on the top lane. A bit more gold for Vost as well if he's able to get that final touch in. Fortification coming out from the ring. The question is, do Na'Vi try and defend this bottom lane? So Nako's there on his own, and now with the Nightmare, he's going to be in a bit of trouble. He needs some help if he's going to wish to stay alive, and well, nothing's going to come. They're just going to let Suneko go there as he falls on the Earthshaker.
I think it's fine. In the grand scheme of things, Na'Vi killed the tier 1 first, and they ended up killing a carry, whereas VP were only able to find a support. So, gonna exchange towers at the end of the day. It's not too bad for Na'Vi at this point. Their blink timings are so important, and Funnick has been left alone this whole time. We talked about how a few minutes ago he was level 3. Now he's halfway to level 7 pretty much after this creep wave.
And look at his gold as well. I mean, coming up to 1700, it's still going to be a very respectable timing on his Blink Dagger if he doesn't die.
Yeah, and it's super important for them too. If they can get some momentum going off that blink, then you can also get Dendy his blink too, which he's even farther away than Funnick, given the fact that he did get ganked in that middle lane, and then his first teleport rotation, he did it prior to being level 6, so he wasn't even able to punish Illidan for the kind of sorta dive they did on that tier 1 top lane. So I think this is going to be the go button for Na'Vi once Funnick has that item up, and they're even prioritizing the Sonico Shaker getting level 6 too. So they will have a lot of tools available to them very soon to start turning this game in their favor.
Ooh, Denzi. It should be fine. It's just Phobos coming in. He's got nothing to control the puck, and Puck's able to get himself away safely. G coming in terms of his farm, closing towards that good old mechanism. He's very close to it. Just a recipe short. So it's going to be a very, very quick timing for him as well. But Avos, well, maybe not. If Avos can chase this one down now, G's got a haste read. He's fine. We'll be able to get himself out.
I guess he baited out the rocket barrage. Oh, but I mean, that was just him looking for something. He had a high ground ward inside of the jungle, so maybe he was looking to see if he could line up a Razor too. He might have been able to kill Havost if he had been on point and The rest of VP coming in.
Smoking up. They're going to stampede through and straight away the Fiend's Grip onto Sneko. If they find it, they'll certainly find the Earthshaker kill. The question is, can they get anything else here? Looks like the rest of Na'Vi have got themselves out. And let's have a look at Funny, because he got that Blink. Now he's going to get it now. Moves into the side shot. Will be able to pick up the Blink Dagger and consequently hide himself in the trees. So it's just an Earthshaker they stake down. And the fact that Funny isn't stopped on what is a road to a very quick Blink. 11 minutes in, we can start to expect to see Na'Vi looking for the plays now.
Very interesting to me that Illidan actually goes back for the Vanguard. Like, he actually completes the Vanguard. Now, I know it makes you extremely tanky, and Navi's team, most of their damage output is magic right now, and with the mech and a Vanguard, you're kind of unkillable, and maybe they're just saying Stampede is enough of an initiation tool right now, and they don't actually need the Blink to make sure they can take fights. It's just a very interesting concept. Like, maybe he even foregoes it completely and goes back for Pipe. I feel that item is ridiculous against Navi's team. Like, 10% extra magic resistance and the 400 absorb would be huge against this Epicenter, the oncoming Earthshaker ultimate that's going to be soon, hopefully. I think he's like 25 experience away from 6, yeah. So Neko will be able to have that, and you have Call Down. Like, everything on the side of Navi is magic right now.
Top lane as well, Dendi trying to just find some farm. 1,700 gold towards his own Blink Dagger. And he has got the backup now. Jara, they're going to go for this one, dropping the Dream Coil straight away. The Cold Embrace will be there to buy a little some time, but it's not going to be enough to protect him against the amount of damage that Na'Vi have, as they do find the Colossal Wyvern. FNG TPing in, as well as the Phoenix diving forward here. Phobos, of course, does have... No, he's not quite got the mana, in fact, for Supernova, so he wouldn't have been able to do anything anyway. Na'Vi are able to back themselves out and get away with taking that kill from them.
The more and more I see how VP are playing this, I kind of have this sense of they want to actually just try to out-tank Navi's lineup. Like, having Stampede as a disengage tool is fantastic, but Puck kind of... He doesn't counter it, but it's annoying. Because if you get coiled and you Stampede, you actually can't run anywhere unless you have BKBs up. But we actually know for a fact that G is going to be making his way towards BKB soon. Maybe he just buys it after the mech. Maybe he waits one other item in his progression. And Illidan will likely pick one up at some point too. And in that case, the Stampede becomes very useful again. But until that point, it's going to be anyone's game. Just comes down to the fights. Dendi's
now got the Blink Dagger on Puck.
Yeah.
So in terms of initiation with that and the Sankey in house, Sneko doing well. He's got 800 gold, so he's working towards it. Still quite a way to go. VP are looking for Roshan here. They brought it down to half health. And the question is if Na'Vi know about this or want to try and contest it. And doesn't look like they have any intention of closing in on this soon, so VP should be able to get away with this.
Now this is a big thing for them too. Just being able to get it off the map. I mean, Navi's team's not really great at killing Roshan, if we're just being honest. And maybe part of the Vanguard choice was to be able to tank it up like Illidan is right now. He didn't take much, if any, damage, really, from tanking that. But very nice to get G with that Aegis at this early stage in the game. I think it makes it much less likely that Na'Vi are going to be able to take a team fight in general, even with the use of the Blink, unless Funix Epi is so good that he just kills like 2 or 3 heroes in the back.
VP, they want to make the most of this Aegis. They want to start to get the push on at Heartstar. They can lead in with this one. Disruption, and now Sneko throwing out the Fisher. Not going to catch anyone. As Illidan walks past it. Now with the Stampede, there's going to be the Fiend's Grip onto a Vosh. They want to bring down this Jaro, but the actual Sun's going to catch him. And Funnick catching out the Epicenter onto Lil and G. No one falling out on the side of Na'Vi. Now the cooldown from a Vosh will catch loads of them as in the middle of it. They lose Dendi here on the Puck. Phobos going forward. He does have that Supernova. The Fisher will hold him back for the timing, but the burn damage bringing Heartstar incredibly low. He might die to this, and he will do indeed. This is a fantastic fight for VP. Finding 2 and losing nothing, and they should be able to get the tier 1 off the back of this as well.
That Sand King Epi didn't really do a whole heck of a lot in that fight, and that is really bad for Na'Vi. They're going to lose their tier 1 for sure, as you mentioned. And the first time the Blink has been shown in a team fight, it doesn't really do a whole heck of a lot. And that, I mean, the mech was popped, of course, but there was no pipe coming out from the side of VP, and that, again, was without Illidan even having a Blink. Like, he just casually walked in. And that's against a Sand King and a Shaker and a Shadow Demon. So he got into that fight somehow, managed to catch a Havos, forced like 2 or 3 members of Na'Vi back. The Epi wasn't really on point, and then all of a sudden they just lose that team fight pretty badly, I would say. And G is now making his way towards that BKB, which, unlike in that last game, or not the last game, it was the 3rd game where they had Ancient Apparition and Rubik. VP had this sense of once BKBs come out, their team becomes significantly weaker. I would say it's the same for Na'Vi in this game. Their supports are entirely based around magic damage, even their offlaner in the Sand King and Puck. So they have this kind of AoE magic damage wombo combo draft that eventually will fall off very, very hard. And VP are also still winning in the early mid game pretty heavily. Like, their Shadow Fiend is a beast in terms of farm right now. Illidan, he's getting close to Blink if he opts to go for it. If he wants to go Pipe, I actually think that's fine too, because it just lets you run into towers which if they can get map control, they can just keep killing Roshan and kind of smother Na'Vi.
And as you said, yeah, he's got that option available, and the fact that he's still able to contribute a lot to the fight, even without the blink. We found him finding himself in position very nicely, Illidan, in that fight around the mid-tier 1. And, I mean, the question is Na'Vi, do you kind of just wait for them to go on you again and look to jump on them, or do you yourself need to smoke up and start to go a bit more aggressive than they have been?
You can definitely go for picks with Na'Vi's lineup. There's no question about that. Like, you have Blink Sand King, that opens up enough for you. You have Blink Coil. You can just jump in and try to find anything, really. I think you could probably kill almost every single hero, except for the Shadow Fiend may be too risky to commit to. You'd have to have full vision if you were going to smoke and try to kill him, but everyone else I think you could probably kill. And the Centaur, of course, is super tanky. So 3 heroes out of 5.
G and Lil are smoked up, moving towards the mid, but it is just the 2 of them. And Na'Vi themselves, they're grouped up as a 5-man. It's a little bit too hard for the side of VP to fight in with just the 2 of them.
Na'Vi need time. They need to get the Shaker Blink too, I think. That's maybe the most important one. Because of the fact that BKBs are going to be coming out soon on VP, they need an immediate lockdown outside of just the burrow, so they can make sure that Epi actually deals damage.
Ooh, here comes the second smoke from VP. This time they might be able to find something with it as they bring the whole entire team down the mid lane. FNG looking to lead in, has got that Fiend's Grip. If he can catch out her Vorst, that's going to be massive. Illidan stampeding forward, looks for the Who Stomp. Isn't quite able to find it, and Na'Vi lucky to not lose anyone there as VP can't just quite catch the stun onto him.
You can tell VP know they're very far ahead. Like, at this stage in the game, their team fight is insane. Even with the Sand King Blink and having Call Down and Blink Puck, they're still the ones forcing the advantage. And I would say that playing Reckless into a lineup with the Puck and the Sand King both having Blink is probably the best case scenario for Na'Vi, because it allows you to counterplay and set up really big ults as opposed to just trying to go for a gank and ult like 1 or 2 people and then try to pick and then run. But still, Na'Vi not feeling as confident maybe to take those fights. They also kind of need their Gyrocopter to get BKB, but I think Havost is actually going back for S and Y, it looks like right now. Which means the Bane can Fiend's Grip him and deal damage. The Phoenix is still going to be a huge nuisance. They're not going to be able to kill the Egg, because nobody on the side of Na'Vi can deal with it. If he lands the Fire Spirits, it's just free Supernova, no matter what. And the other thing too is they actually have a great team built around the Egg, because you have Requiem, and once G gets his own BKB, he can just stand there and Requiem around the Egg, and then what are you supposed to do? Like, you actually just have to run.
Radiant's top tower is under
now we are seeing the Blink Dagger picked up on your Earthshaker now. So this is going to be another big addition to the team fight. Na'Vi, Havost, and Funnick just pushing down this bottom lane, but a lot of TPs coming in. FNG trying to get himself in range for a Nightmare or a Grip, and well, they're going to find Havost here as Illidan blinks straight in. They blow up the Gyrocopter, and now Funnick trying to get himself out with somebody Burrow Strike and TP away. But Havost there just getting caught out by VP.
And Na'Vi need... They need BKB on the Gyrocopter like 100%. Just showcase there why he needs it. If he gets Blink initiated on and there's no supports in the vicinity, he's just gone. Like, there's no way that he can stand to that kind of damage. The other thing too that's going to start to become more and more of an issue is this Centaur is going to get tankier. He has ridiculous strength gain. He's already up to another 1,000 gold after his Blink and his Vanguard. G is going to pretty much be following suit. He's highest farmer in the game right now. If that keeps happening and they both get BKBs, or maybe even Centaur goes back for a pipe at this point, then you're not going to have the single target damage to kill them. It's going to be very similar to the Lycan, where no one could deal with him when Na'Vi picked it. Now it's going to be, you can't deal with a Shadow Fiend and you can't deal with a Centaur. This is also the reason why I felt like VP's lineup would just be better in the late game, because 4 of the 5 of the members of their team drop like rocks in terms of efficiency against BKBs.
A lot of creep system. Neko, he has got that extra time. He's going to blink forward, find the Fissure, and now with the follow-up Burrow Strike from Funnick, they might be able to find Lil. No, the defensive Nightmare's going to buy them some time, and now turning around onto a Vorce with a Curse, with a Fiend's Grip as well. Gyro's getting low. He'll go down there to the Splinter Blast, and his 2 heroes falling on the side of Na'Vi. They are able to take down the Egg. Now Dendi trying to turn this one around with the Dream Cold. Funnick with a Burrow Strike will get cleared up by Illidan with a Who Stomp. FNG trying to do what he can. Will stay alive here. Arstar's going to get Nightmared up. Illidan moving forward. They're going to look to take down the Shadow Demon here as well. And they will find that kill. It's a double kill for FNG. 4 heroes down on Na'Vi. And VP, again, they only lose 2. Everyone dying bar the Puck on Na'Vi. What a fight there. As Virtus Pro just proving that they are ahead, and they're going to use that to the best of their advantage in these engagements.
It actually looked like they were going to turn that potentially, because as soon as they kill the Egg and full boss goes down, I was like, oh, okay, they actually can maybe turn this, and then all of a sudden you realize, oh, right, we still have the rest of our team. You actually only managed to kill an offlaner and 1 support, and the rest of your team is pretty much dead. So if Dendi hadn't committed to that, I would even say that it would have been a more lopsided exchange maybe like the Phoenix definitely wouldn't have died because they wouldn't have had enough auto attacks to kill the Supernova, and VP would have crushed that even harder. So I think Na'Vi actually got away with a decent fight considering they're very far behind. The gold exchange is the big thing because when you're as far behind as Na'Vi are right now, taking even like 2 for 4 or like 3 for 2 or something like that, not in your favor of kills, is still benefiting you in terms of golden experience because, you know, comeback mechanic is a thing. But here comes the rotation once again from VP.
Indeed, looking for Dendy. They don't have the curse available to lock him down, but with the Stampede, trying to find themselves in a position to take this fight. They're chasing down Dendy here, but Dendy, he's out of vision and he's out of finding time. And Seneko as well, just able to blink out into the trees. Looks like VP this time won't find anything there.
And Na'Vi have to be manning their panic station soon, I think. How far away is that Shaker? Okay, he has Blink. So this is actually very good for Na'Vi. With the Blink Dagger, they can force fights on their own terms, even with the, like, I guess, pretty big deficit of golden experience that they have right now. It's only around 5k. This is actually a very similar lead to what we saw game number 3, VP stomping with. This was a very, very similar lead, but I would also say that their lineup is better suited to transitioning into the later stages of the game. But with this, Na'Vi, they actually have a chance for fights now, which is a really good thing for them. They have triple Blink, and they have 2 very good disables, and a lot of AoE on top of that.
All the TP's coming back now. Na'Vi going to smoke up straight away, but it's dispelled by FNG here with his Glimmer Cape, trying to get out his Phoenix Grip. Won't be there as Arstyle's got the disruption to break it up. And now going in, they might be able to find the FNG. They will. They'll find FNG here on the bait. And now Denny Blink for Deja Echo Snap for Seneko. 3 heroes dropping. It's a double kill for Funnick. He's going to try to clear against the Hoostomp and the double edge onto the Force. They'll bring down Arstyle as well. They do find 2 in return. Seneko's able to get himself out. Dendy and Funnick, but now Funnick with the epic enter onto Phobos. Fisher from Seneko. Dendy goes in with the waiting rift. It's only a little left alive. He tries to stampede out, but they're controlling him here. Funnick should have a burst strike in a minute. The double edge, bringing it into low. He finds himself a kill, but he's going to pay with his life. It's a team wipe, and VP hit the decks, and Na'Vi turn up to the fight in full force.
Okay, Funnick is a god. Like, he comes in, he burrow strikes into fog to hit 2 more heroes, just assuming that people would be standing there. Like, what kind of game sense do you actually need to be able to pull off plays like that? That was unbelievable. The fact that they were even able to take a fight that convincingly. Oh,
straight up. He wants to do the Fiend Script, but then he says, nah, get your hands off him. Blinks him there with the Waning Rift, gets himself back out with the orb. And FNG won't find anything there today. And, oh, Danny says, thanks for the regen, Mr. RNG. Well, 11 to 16. We're going to see the graph ticking in a bit, and the side of VP will have certainly lost a considerable amount of the lead that they had.
We talked about the Wombo combo, man. It's there. And if you give the opportunity for Na'Vi between having that Funnick Sand King and Seneko on the Shaker, they will find it if you get too far out of position. I'm blown away that even in this position, Na'Vi are able to take these types of fights. And, I mean, they're making it a game.
Top lane, Vorst and Seneko moving in. If they can get the stun onto G before he gets that BKB out, they could go for a kill here. G coming out. They will find the fish now, going in with the rocket barrage. The Enchanter, and they control G. They bring him down. And again, that's a massive kill for Na'Vi, killing the Shadow Fiend, who, I mean, G, top of the net worth. He's been having an amazing game so far. And if Na'Vi are able to find these kills, it's going to hurt VP so much. FNG moving out, but there's going to be the wraparound from Na'Vi. Moving towards the mid lane. Now Arstyle throwing down the Zmono Plate to pop down the sentry as well. They've got the vision, but it looks like FNG will be able to get himself out. Another disruption holding him in place as well. They're going to need a +1 if they want to take it down. Here's Seneko with the fish onto FNG, and then pop this Stampede, and now Funnick trying to move with the burst strike, will pick himself back out, realizing that's not the initiation they need. Winter's card onto a Vorst. Arstyle starts to hit away at him, and Vorst getting low, but they're going to have to use their arms to the center, holding him back away from Vorst. So Vorst is going to live, trying to get himself out of this one. And looks like Na'Vi won't lose anything, and Fish being thrown out. Oh, Illidan going forward. He wants Seneko. Funnick now with the EPZ onto Lil, and that Dendy going forward to Johnny as well. Waiting Rift onto Lil. He's got the Glimmer Cape, but it's not going to be enough. Dendy takes down the Winter Wyvern. Illidan will try to be out, but no, the disruption's there to cancel it. Funnick with a burst strike onto FNG. Rocket barrage from Revolt brings it down, and now Illidan trying to get himself out. Your Scepter onto Sue, onto the Phoenix, controlling him. Double kill for Dendy. They should be able to fight forward. They try Echo Slam. Now they'll get the Supernova out, but they'll just focus it, right click it, burst strike onto G, stopping the Requiem. He'll now pop the BKB, look for the Requiem, but he's lost his entire team. He's the last one alive. And now the question is, can Na'Vi go back in? They've got a blink. They're going to have the burst strike. G. Oh, he's going to find the kill on some Funnick there. Funnick going in a little bit too early as the magic immunity was still there, but still. What a fight again against VP. The massive difference in gold and XP swinging in favor of Na'Vi, and so many things in that fight going absolutely perfectly for Na'Vi.
The way that Na'Vi take team fights in these situations is just like mind-blowing. They kite out VP so badly with their mass blink daggers. We're going to see a rotation here. Yeah, he's going, oh, nice blink away. But that team fight just shows that even in these circumstances, when you have heroes with high mobility, you can bait out every single ability from the enemy team and just come back in. You see the big Epi coming in from here, even with the Glimmer Cape. It's not enough. Lil ends up dropping, and they can re-engage as many times as they want. They're abusing the puck mobility. They're abusing the Sand King. They just kite it out, and eventually VP just gets split up. All these heroes are by themselves. Illidan was alone, FNG was alone, and Lil was alone. And at that point, that's where Na'Vi want you to be, because they know with these mass blinks they can find the initiation. And unfortunately, right here, when they threw out the Supernova, there were no Fire Spirits out. So that egg had no chance of living. And thankfully for Virtus Pro, G ended up living through that engagement and gets at least one counter kill. So I didn't want to jinx them by saying they had the same lead as they did before in this position, but right now they're going to be going for Roshan. And no Epicenter up just yet on the side of Na'Vi. Okay, never mind, just came off cooldown. So if Na'Vi realize this is going down, they can contest. But as of right now, it does not seem like they do.
Indeed, Echo Slam being the only ultimate that Na'Vi don't have at their disposal, but they're not going to head that way. And Phobos again, she's going to go for the BKB this game. Has got to complete on the Phoenix, and I believe was it Phobos who built the BKB the other day when we were casting? We were saying about the fact that it just allows him to ensure that he gets all those Fire Spirits off before having to pop the Supernova.
I think it was. I think having the BKB against this team is almost necessary, because you have Blink Puck, Blink Earthshaker, Blink Sand King. There's just so much initiation potential that if you don't have BKB, you can't even rely on using Egg at all. So I think it's a very necessary choice coming out from him.
Top lane. Well, Wyvern's going to TP in. Winters goes onto Dendy, trying to set something up, but Seneco's there with the backup. Dendy's just going to be able to orb out, and nothing going to be achieved there by that Wyvern. They're going to pop the Stampede as well. They really want to look to fight, but Seneco's already TP'd out from the tree line. Vorst and Dendy, they're just running away, and VP unable to find anything there, and the full 5-man being forced up to the top lane, which is going to give the space for Funning to get his push on the bottom lane.
The most important thing for VP right now is to remember the lesson that they get from fighting that middle fight is don't get pulled apart by Na'Vi. Because if you take these small skirmishes against Pucks and Sand Kings, you're never going to win. You're not going to be able to catch them. You don't have the amount of lockdown you need on an individual hero basis to be able to secure those kills. You just have to fight 5 versus 5.
And Dendy, he's got enough money for Aghanims if he wants to.
I wonder if... Oh, he does actually want to go Aghanims here. He already picked up the point booster. I was going to say, I wonder if he goes for Hex instead, but... yeah, his farm has actually gotten completely out of control.
Funnick, he's got an Epicenter he wants to use. He's jumping in onto Illidan with a Burrow Strike. The Fisher from Seneca holding the place now with the Sandstorm. Now Seneca comes in with the Echo Slam. They should be able to find Illidan. No, Illidan turns, gives the Who's Up out. Now the Supernova, the mech from G keeping him alive. They find the kill onto Seneco, and they do manage to keep Illidan alive. Very nice play there from VP, reacting to Na'Vi, looking for a cheeky little pickoff.
MVP Fire Spear from DK Phobos just throws it in from downtown, prevents that last hit from coming in, and they get a really easy turnaround kill. So important pickup here for Virtus Pro. They get the Aghanims up on the Centaur. This is going to do a ton of work against a Sand King Epi, and of course the Echo Slam, assuming that the Centaur isn't actually hit by it. And I think with the way that Virtus Pro are playing it, it's much more likely that the Centaur will already be inside of the fight to be able to pop that Stampede to negate the damage output. And depending on his usage of that skill, I feel like Na'Vi's damage output could just drastically drop off. So it's going to be down to, again, who gets the better initiation, who has the better utilization of their teamfight abilities.
We are going to see the BKB is now complete for Vorst. Vorst staff is going to be on its way out to Seneco as well. So a couple of pickups coming out for the side of Na'Vi. In terms of net worth, we are now back across the 0 mark, and it is favoring Na'Vi just slightly, though it's close. Illidan blinking forward aggressively here, wants to get the push, but there's going to be a fish shot onto Illidan, and he could be in a bit of trouble now. There's going to be the missile flying through as well. G is there to back him up. We'll be able to remove the missile from this fight, and VP, they've got the rest of the team coming in, so G and Illidan, if they want to stick around and look for more, they're certainly going to be in a position to do so. The rest, well, Lil at least is smoked up, and so is FNG, so Na'Vi, they've got to be careful about jumping into this one, because FNG, will be there to react. Epicenter's going to be up in 20 seconds, and Funny just continuing to push. FNG is looking for that Fiend's Grip. They're trying to find a Vorst. He's just going to Nightmare up Art Style. Seneco has got the Echo Slam. He has got the Echo Slam. Illidan's going to go forward. We'll get yours straight away now. Dendy coming in with a Rainy Rip, but the Stampede now. They're going to turn it. They take down Art Style. Vorst has popped the BKB, but he can't fight into this. There'll be the Fisher coming out. But still, Na'Vi not quite ready to jump into this one. Echo Slam will be up in 15 seconds. They do have the Epicenter, but... and now Funnick has returned. So maybe with the Echo Slam, if they could look to try and jump. Just going to try and take this tier 2. Dendy's got a Dream Call as well. 5 seconds to the Echo Slam. Do they want to go a homing missile onto Illidan? They're trying to force VP back. They've got the fortification behind them sometime. And do they chase this one down? Now, it doesn't look like it. They've sent both the Sand King and the Earthshaker to the top lane. And this isn't going to be the fight that Na'Vi looks for.
If they were able to make something happen off that, even though Art Style was dead, I think that they could have potentially done something. I think their biggest worry was the fact that G still had BKB, but Stampede was down. They still had everything else though. Like they had Egg, they had Fiend Script, they had all that stuff. So I get why Na'Vi didn't want to go in. I just saw like maybe a tiny opening if they wanted to try to really, really force it. But I think that also the fact that he has Aegis, it's like, it's a lot of risk for very little reward if they win that fight. It would have been very flashy, but other than that, it's just like, yeah, we should probably wait it out. Let our Gyrocopter get a little bit more farmed. Havos is working his way probably towards his first damage item now. He went for the BKB SNY, so he's sufficiently tanky at this point. He just needs to start hitting hard, so when he gets the flag off,
FNG setting something up onto Phonic. So Nako has got the fish catching both G and FNG out. So Nako gets himself out. Phonic might not be as lucky. Oh, the winner's curse comes through. They want him dead, and they're going to get it there. Phonic now down for a good minute.
A very nice vision from Sonico, though. He did his best. I don't really think you could have asked him to do anything more in that situation. Stampede is showing to be, once again, extremely good in a lot of different situations. I wouldn't be surprised the Centaur getting a little bit more love, at least after these finals.
Illiton, he wants to fight a horse. He's got a TP backup coming in the form of the wife, and there's going to be more as well. But now, Dendy with the Dream Collar wants to try and turn this, but the Embrace is going to be there. Illiton's going to be on. Now your Echo Slam coming through. Phobos gets taken down. Waiting Reptiles, Lily can't do anything. He's going to get taken down as well. It's an unstoppable kill streak for Dendy. Havos popping the BKB there. Illiton won't be able to find the double edge. He's been limit caped up as well. Trying to find the control onto Dendy, but Dendy's going to be fine. Snake's still waiting in the sidelines. Illiton trying to chase down the Dendy kill. It's going to be the Nightmare from FNG. Say this up, and now Snako with the Fisher, and now taking the Nightmare off Dendy, allowing Dendy to get himself out of this one. Dendy will be able to TP home. Snako will be the sacrificial lamb there, but Snako with the plays, allowing Dendy to live.
This guy is an absolute legend. Like, how do you go into that just saying, you know what, man, it's fine, I got you, I'll break that Nightmare, you get yourself out, sing Tales of My Valor. Snako, he's unbelievable. Like, I don't know what else this guy needs to do to be able to win.
Pretty insane stuff, but I mean, it's still obvious the fact that VP, they do get the kills. They do manage to take down the Earthshaker. And, you know, Shadowfeet, he's got the Skadi, so he's certainly going to be punching in these engagements, and it is still a while until Havorst has that big damage item, as you were saying, so arguably if VP want to start to push, maybe this is the time that they can look to take a convincing fight and maybe even try and push up to the high ground. Or do you feel, as a team, they're ready to wait a little bit longer before they look to jump in Havorst? Oh, you're a bit deep here, matey. Winter's Curse, and now the TP's coming in. Havorst, he's got nowhere to run. He really wanted that tower. He's not going to get it there. Little with the deny, and Havorst, I mean, that was classic Havorst.
That's heartbreak.
Classic stuff.
That's a really not good death for him. I mean, he was just working his way towards maybe picking up a Demon Edge. He was only a couple hundred gold away. I think he lost quite a bit for that as well. Yeah, he loses almost 500 gold for that death, so he's not even able to pick up a random Javelin or anything. Maybe unsure of what next item he wants to really buy, but I think the biggest point of contention for both teams, definitely going to be Roshan. In that regard, I'd say that Na'Vi maybe have like a tiny edge just because, again, massive AoE combos. But BP have been very good about positioning for the most part. There's been one or two pretty decent echoes. The one bottom lane comes to mind. He hit on 2 or 3, managed to kill full boss before he was able to really do much of anything. I think that it's so important to have Aegis though. Like if you're VP, if you want to go high ground and you're going into that choke point, you need a second life on one of your carries. And I think in this case, G is the one who needs it.
Indeed, it looks like VP, they're going to be happy just rotating around, hanging around this Roche pit. It's going to be up in a bit. We're going to see what kind of timing is going to be up for Roche. And VP, I think they're doing exactly as just that. They want to wait for that Aegis because they really respect the team fight potential of Na'Vi. We've seen it time and time again with the Echo Slam and the Epicenter. You want to be making sure that you're ready to go if you're going to run up into the high ground against that.
Now, without a doubt, it's anyone's game at this point. I gotta commend Na'Vi though. They like pulling these games back. I don't understand how they can consistently do that. Like, how do you have that much pressure on you to say, oh yeah, you know what, it's fine. We'll just randomly wipe the enemy team off the map when we're down like 5,000-6,000 golden experience, and the enemy team composition is better at this stage in the game. It's just unreal. And that fight mid, like just baiting out so many abilities, just mass blink spam, mobility heroes, just showing to be Na'Vi's forte. Like, this is the only reason they're in the game is because of outplay. Like that in of itself is nuts.
Absolutely, and the graph's kind of settled now around this 0 point, so we're pretty much back to square one between the teams in terms of net worth and XP difference as well. So it's kind of like a clean sheet, and it's definitely with the lineups that they've got the potential for both teams to swing it back in their favor. I mean, can you look at the drafts now and kind of say, well, this team's clearly got the edge, or do you feel that they're fairly even at this point of the game?
I feel it's very reliant on item progression from the Gyrocopter and the Shadow Fiend. So for example, SF is going for crit, right? So they're going to have very high single target damage output, even through BKB, whereas Havos, he's still working his way towards that first damage item. Now, he could opt to go for Butterfly. That would also be a very good choice if he sees the Crystallis top lane.
Yeah, Dendy orbing forward. Phobos is going to go in there, but there's Yules to hold him back. Dendy needs to be careful because FNG is around. Dendy's going to be fine. Yeah, TPs and gets 4 stuffed as well back, just to make sure there's no hope of VP catching him out, and we'll be able to escape there.
Now, the inherent weakness of Navi's lineup is their single target damage output. That's the one thing they're going to be suffering from the most. They picked a hell of a lot of AoE though. So if they can find the combos, I think they'll be able to sufficiently take fights. But time and time again, VP have shown that they will adapt. Like, they will be able to take team fights in the proper method. And we're going to see a little bit of rotation here again from Na'Vi.
And Illidan in the tree line here. Forced on the front lines for the side. Na'Vi and all getting forced. Snake has been able to fight the fish here. Now with the burst strike followed with the cold embrace from Lil's going to be there. And now the Winter's Curse on the force. He did manage to get off the BKB. The Fiend Script gets cancelled straight away. And it's a question whether Na'Vi can stick around in this fight. They're starting to back off because G, with BKB doing so much damage, there's going to be the disruption there holding back Artstar. Well, himself as well. FNG's getting low because Funix trying to look for the burst strike. Will now find it. They'll find the Bane. And the fight continues. G getting low. Now Sadeko with the Echo Slam with the Fisher brings down G. It's a 2-for-1. They want more. Lil's going to be able to TP. He's got the Glimmer Cape. Will escape. And it's a 2-for-1 there as Na'Vi are able to successfully defend and they kill the G Shadow Fiend.
They're getting baited so hard. Like, every single time, Na'Vi just completely disengage. It's like, okay, fine. You want to pop Stampede? Our Shaker and our Sand King are going to be sitting in the back the entire time. They go on Havos. They don't even kill him when they throw the Winter's Curse on him because no one is in range to really deal damage at that point, and he has his BKB up. So the only person who can really hit him is Shadow Fiend Funnick. Yeah, he's dropping low here. I think he will end up dropping.
He's going to force a burst strike. He's good. He's got a burst. Oh, Saneko actually coming in saying, well, I'm going to hold these guys back for you. Homing missile onto Illidan. Illidan will pop the Stampede. Of course, with that free puff, he's trying to get to the high ground, but Funix there with the burst strike holding him back, and he'll get out. Dendy blinking forward. They're trying to find the kill in Waiting Rift. Illidan will be Glimmer Caped up now with the cold embrace from Lil. He's going to be okay. He will survive, but he doesn't find any of the kills there. Na'Vi just working perfectly as a team to keep each other alive.
The VP really need to just focus one target down. Like, they wanted to kill the gyrocopter there, couldn't do it, get all of their BKBs blown basically at the start of the fight, and the Stampede, and the Egg also. So nothing really accomplished anything. Like, your BKBs, your Stampede, your Egg were all wasted. At that point, Na'Vi are like, it's our go time. We still got Epi, we still got Shaker ult. We can just re-engage on this whenever we want. I really think that VP's best way of taking fights is to just drop everything on one hero. Like, you need to actually take somebody down because otherwise you're just going to get kited.
He's done Illidan. He's going to look for the kill onto Saneko, bring him low here with the burst damage. Can Saneko get himself out of this one? He's going to use himself up, buying some time. We'll find the blink, and now the 4-star fails. Saneko escapes. And, well, VP won't find anything. Roshan is up, though, and it's a question of whether VP want to try and go for this one here.
Roshan is a necessity for VP. They absolutely need it at this point. If for whatever reason Na'Vi are able to take a fight around Rosh, I would even say they might just be leading this game.
Okay, they've got everything apart from the Echo Slam. Still just about 10 seconds before that one comes back online. Let's see if Na'Vi can contest this one. It's going to be quite a slow Rosh until G starts punching. Funny going forward, gets the burst strike onto FNG. This is big if they can control the Bane. Bane won't be able to get any of the Fiend Scripts out. Saneko going forward. He's got the Echo Slam now. He's still waiting to use it. Holding himself place with the Yules. Where's the Echo Slam? He's going to need to try and get it. No, he's going to get himself out. In fact, now they're going to find the kill onto the Shadow Demon. Now Saneko getting the Echo Slam. The Dream Call onto free. FNG falling
oh
left.
My
getting
God.
onto the high ground. G so low as well. Funny to Saneko with a double kill. Funny with a triple kill. Working together perfectly to wipe the side of VP. And now Roshan is left open. Andy.
Na'Vi do an amazing job at baiting out BKB usage during this game. Like, that is the only reason they're winning these team fights. Every single time VP pop BKB, they pop Stampede, they want to go for someone. That art style disruption onto the Shaker actually won them the fight because it allowed the Shaker to actually walk into a position to get a much better Echo than he would have otherwise. Like, if he had to panic Echo, he might have hit like one hero with the BKB on, and that was going to be G. But after that, he walks to the side, he hits 3 with the damage, 2 with the stun, gets 2 heroes killed straight away, and then the rest of the team fight is just Funnick coming in with the epicenter and taking out G. Like, this is just insane performance from everyone on the side of Na'Vi. They're on the same page. All of their fights are perfectly coordinated. They know exactly what their game plan is. This is insane.
You look at Vorce now. I think that was him just picking up a complete, yeah. That is going to be the MKB coming out for Vorce. Just going to have that ready for the next fight. Dendy, how's he doing on that old Cypher Vice progression? Well, he's got the ultimate orb, 2.5k gold towards that as well. Now let's have a look at the side of VP. What are they looking forward to getting up? Well, they're wanting to try and find that Daedalus, of course, onto the Shadow Fiend. They're coming up to the 2k on top of the Crystalist. Still a bit of time and a while until they get that one online. And so far, I mean, VP, they've got to be so careful about the fights they're taking because, I mean, as you can see on the net worth board at the moment, massive swings, and it's getting to that point again where Na'Vi are pretty much finding the lead that VP had themselves in the early game.
A VP are already kind of past the point where you have your honeymoon 10-second BKB phase on G, right? So it's already at 7 seconds. It's going to be down to 5 sooner or later, and that means that Navi's supports and their epicenter, their echo, their coil on Dendi as well, it's going to come back into full effect, basically. And even with 10-second BKBs, or 8 or 9, Navi's been able to very adeptly kite out the draft of Virtus Pro. And I think it's very interesting that a team with Centaur is actually just getting kited every single time. Navi are just... they're outplaying at every single opportunity.
Well, talking about the plays, Na'Vi, they're going to be looking for them here, smoking up and making a rotation towards this bottom tier 2. Maybe seeing if any kind of reaction comes from VP in an attempt to defend it. VP themselves, all around this top lane is a 5-man. They're going to start moving towards this. Maybe they feel that Havorst is on his own. They're going for the Havorst bait. You know, we've seen Havorst out on his own a numerous amount of times. Maybe VP are going to assume that Havorst is looking for the Havorst bait. He's on his own. So they jump on this.
It's so obvious, actually. Yeah. I really don't think they're going to go for this. Yeah. I mean, if you look at their lanes right now, no one's even farming a single thing. I think VP know better, so they're just going to go ahead and fall back. It would have been a cool thing to see if VP actually fell for that one, but at the end of the day, looks like both teams going to fall back into some passivity. I'm just like blown away. Like the performance from both teams, like VP are not really playing bad. It's just Navi are playing really damn well.
Is under attack.
Can't argue with that. And here comes the push from Navi. It's their turn to try and go on the aggressive, and let's see what VP can do in reaction. We've seen time and time again VP have tried to push themselves, and Navi been there with the jump onto them. How good's VP's high ground defense in your opinion?
It is very, very good. Yeah. Like you have Bane, you have Winter Wyvern, you have Egg. There are a lot of tools at your disposal. I think Navi excel fighting in open map fights like this.
They might want to go. Lil and Phobos are smoked up. Divorced on the front. They've got Fennec on the high ground. Who's going to make the first jump? Phobos moving forward, just chucking out the Fire Spirits. They've got the Stampede as well if they want to try and initiate. With the way the fights have gone, maybe they want to hold on to that. In case the fight goes bad and they need to disengage. Illidan just in the tree line there, looking for a jump, but at the same time, Fennec on the sidelines. Both heroes just waiting to catch someone out, and this is a very, very tense part of the game, Andy.
Fennec is a beast. Here comes the Burrow.
He's going to find the Burrow track. He gets himself force-staffed out, dodging the Houston from Illidan. The Stampede will be popped, and now the Phoenix Revolt to Force, but the disruption from Artstyle is going to break it. Force is going to be able to fight back up in there. Which now Sadeko with the Echo Snap to FNG and Lil, and now going in and full force. The cooldown's going to come down on the wall. They have popped the Supernova here. Dream calls onto them, and it's actually Na'Vi losing the fight here. They've lost the Aegis onto a Force. They've lost Sadeko as well. Fennec's going to drop as well, and it's time for VP to take a positive fight. They're going to almost certainly bring down a Force here as well. 4 heroes dropping on the side. And Na'Vi and VP proving they've still got the team fight to bring to this game.
I think the big difference in that fight than everything else that we've seen so far is Na'Vi committed so many heroes at the same time. Like Fennec didn't even end up getting his epicenter off because he felt like he had to go back in, even pop the cheese, and then he just gets chased down by Phobos. So instead of it being that fight around the river where you have 2 heroes on high ground with Blink, they actually have both of their counter initiation heroes just committed to the fight immediately, and you're not going to be able to kite out your BKBs because by the time you get out of the fight, you're already dead. So VP actually take a very favorable engagement in the most adverse of circumstances because they had Aegis up on Havos.
I might try and break the base here. Big Iron pickups coming out for Dendi. He's now got the completed Scythe. BKB's finished though for Illidan. They do still have this epicenter. Well, Fennec going to go in for the Burrow Strike just onto 2. Puts himself back out. Dendi, how long till he's got that Dream Call available yet again? It's going to be 16 seconds or so. And well, VP, they want to take the racks here going forward. What can Na'Vi do to stop it? There'll be the Fishy coming out onto 2, and he kind of follow up coming out. Doesn't look like it for the time being, and VP might be able to clear these ones out. They're going to find the range tracks in the mid lane. They're looking for the melee as well. It looks like they don't want to stick around. Now, Havorst is going to be back up in 5 seconds or so, so realizing, you know, before when they've tried to break the high ground, it's not gone too great. With the full 5-man, Na'Vi should be able to defend.
I think it's a right call to back here. I mean, Havos isn't going to buy back for a range tracks. He might not even have bought back for the melee, even if it was in danger, just because it means if you buy back to defend that, and then you die 1 more time, VP either get the next Roshan, or they just push another set of racks, and that's just way too much of a risk at this point. Although, wait a minute, they had 2 tier 2s. Okay, maybe he could have bought back, but maybe he felt it was fine either way. Range racks isn't a gigantic deal either way. We're 44